Hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. As promised, we're going to work on this thing. I'm going to take this swath board out, or swag, whatever it was called. I don't even remember now. It's not a swath board. Excuse me while I clean my greasy lens. That's got to make that better. Looks nice and clear from this angle. Okay, the wad board is what it's called. We're going to remove the wad board, inspect the track, everything we can here basically. Not a lot to this really, I don't think, but time will tell because I don't know. First things first, I got to clean all the hay out of here, and then I'm gonna turn it around and back it in here someplace, so I gonna have my tractor back. I don't want it to be, before we take it apart, I want to have my tractor out where I can get to it if I need it, because I'm gonna need it. Probably gonna have to go do some more bush hogging, something here before long. Anyway, so let me go ahead and get this hay and stuff yanked out of here, and then we'll see what we can find out. All right, so we got the shuffle done. We are now ready to start taking stuff apart in here and see what happens. Hey, look at that. It's old. It wants to come apart. So anyway, I'm going to take this piece off, which is what connects to the chain here. This chain is the one that goes back and forth here, that runs this back and forth, and there's another chain over there that has shear bolts in it that is connected to the main plunger that actually, yeah, this goes forward, this goes in when that goes back, basically. So as long as nobody gets jumbled up and sticks this in the wrong spot, or sticks that other piece that connects the bolts to the chain in the wrong spot, there's theoretically no way this thing can get out of time as far as this goes. You know, knotter, timing, and what have you, that's always a consideration anyway. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to take this triangular shaped piece out first and then see what comes after that. Hopefully after that this will all just slide right out of here, and then we'll be able to see what's going on, hopefully. Okay, so before I take this any farther, just for my own notes, I guess, if nothing else, there are two places you can put this. This is the triangle shaped piece that's bolted to that board. Okay, there are two places where you can put this into the chain. One of them is right, and the other one is going to throw it too far into the bale chamber, and I can only assume that bad things will happen. So we don't want to get away from that light. You guys are looking at the sun. Anyway, we don't want that to happen. So for my own notes, if nothing else, that goes there, not there. Okay. Okay, so I got our triangle shaped piece off. It's down here on the ground with me now. And then I notice how much that moves up and down. And also over here, it does pretty similar things. So I can only imagine that this track is supposed to be adjustable, especially since there's bolts here. And then this one down here, someone did us a favor. I use the term rather loosely, and put a regular bolt in there, but this chain has been rubbing it and it's wore that off. So anyway, you see that might pose a issue at some point in time, so we will have to quit shining that light in your eyes. Anyway, we will have to address that as well. And you can see where this is worn down to this piece that the adjustment is sitting in. I don't know how it is adjustable, or if it's adjustable enough, or if I just need to make this board a little bit thicker, longer, whatever. Love working on hay balers. Yeah. Nasty bastards. Anyway, so, oh, there's a broken spring. That's cool. I wonder what that does. Still got one over there. That's got to be the table for the pickup auger, I guess. Anyway, whatever. We're not too worried about that right now. So, I can't see if there's any slot up there or not, and I would hope there is, but I don't know. So, I don't see much of a slot there. Don't feel one anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look at that too, but that's going to need to be adjusted. Just no way about it. That's going to have to be adjusted. So now, let's see. Well, excuse me, I got crap in my eye. Okay, that's better. So now, as I was saying, let's see if this thing will just slide right out here. And look there, it does. How about that? Okay. So, just this thing up here where we can look at it. Well, that's pretty cool. It's got a spring-loaded deal in there that lets this move. And you can see here we've definitely got a problem with the lower track somewhere, because that should have probably been square at one point in time, and it is not anymore. So, oh yes, and then these bolts down here are, well, if I can get them out of there, get that one out of there, I should say. These bolts are mildly special looking. They're a 5/16 carriage bolt, and as you can see, they've got some wear on them, so we're going to have to replace them. But that head's about twice as big as it normally is. So anyway, we're going to have to, I don't know, shockingly enough, since this thing is so old, most everything's available through New Holland still. It's what, 5 to 7 business days out, supposedly, according to Messick's website. That's who I look at for New Holland stuff, and for international parts breakdowns, Case International, whatever. Okay, they put it all online where anybody can get to it. It's a wonderful resource, and I should probably tell them thank you more often, but anyway, thanks Messick's. So, as I said, a lot of this stuff is available from New Holland still. This board, whatever it may be made out of, was $132 and some change, I think. The bolts and all that are still available. Everything, pretty much everything to do with this is available. But being as I'm cheap, I'm not going to buy anything from them if I don't have to, unless of course it's more cost effective to do so. Now then, over here, like I said, we must have some sort of a problem with the track. Hopefully we can all see this. And yeah, that means I got to get my big head in this thing too. Oh yeah, there's something wrong with that right there. That should not be high like that. And as far as that goes, that's interesting. Okay, well, this piece right here is worn out. That's what the problem is there. It's worn this completely down on this side, and it has let that do what it's doing there. I mean, it's worn that completely off and let it peel up and catch my board. So anyway, But it's curiously not worn anywhere other than right here, which means that this gap is wrong. So anyway, let me go grab my phone and we'll get the parts breakdown and look at this and see what all it shows in there. I had this page, I think, pulled up last night when I was looking at it. Okay, so that piece being worn the way it is, and then that's that triangle shaped piece, which is number 11 here. Okay, and the wad board, the board itself, is number 12. So scroll down here until we find 11. They call that the support for the arm wad board. 3 to 7 business days. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this where we can all see at the same time. $66.84, 3 to 7 business days. Okay, so the board, wherever that went, where did it go, George? There it is. Wood wad board, long. Okay, so $132.70, 3 to 7 business days. Okay, so now let me see if I can find these track pieces, because they're not in the wad board, of course. Okay, so in the feeder shell is where I found these at, and this is 4 would be the top one, 4A is the bottom one. I gotta get this thing to move where we can see. 4A, no longer serviced. Okay then. Wad board slide angle lower. Okay then. No longer serviced, wad board slide angle upper. Okay, so good enough. That means they can't do anything about that. All right. Okay, so then the piece that I want for the knotters is this gizmo right here, number 51. So let's see what they have to say about that. Oh, that's 50.1. So they have an updated part, show an updated part for the knife arm. And that looks to be like the thing I would need, really and truly it does. So interesting. Let's see how many hundreds of dollars they want for that. Ooh, $216.14. That's a bit steep, isn't it? Okay then. But they're in stock. What about, let's get rid of that. And 3 to 7 business days on the other one, and no price. That's great. But I bet it's less than that one. But it doesn't say call or anything like that. So anyway. But yeah, 3 to 7 business days, 3 to 7 business days for a wad board. The other new piece is, like I say, $216.14. I wonder how they take 2 pieces and make 1 piece and make it equal to the other. But anyway, whatever. So anyway, you get an idea of what I'm up against here. Knotter, cam, service kits, you know, stuff. But yeah, all right, so anyway. Come here, thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this lower piece off. Lower track, whatever they want to call it. I'm gonna pull it off. We'll look at it, see what we can do about that. It's honestly just angle iron. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult, but let me get it out of there and we'll see what's going on with it. Because, you know, looks can be deceiving and all that good stuff. Some people say that anyway. So yeah, like I was saying, special things here. We're gonna have to deal with that. Shouldn't be a huge deal. I can get them from Fastenal, which is not far away. And yeah, anyway, the wad board, I'm gonna take it to my father-in-law and see if he can make me one. Or well, I should say the wooden piece. The whole thing is the wad board, but the wooden piece of the board is what I'm concerned with. He can make stuff out of wood like nobody's business, so I will gladly let him do that. Don't roll away, dang it. Okay, and then this piece right here, where it has so much wear on it, I can weld that up and then grind it back off. That's not a huge ordeal there. It needs to be the same width as this. I can fill these in with weld, grind them off smooth, and let that be alone, because that'll work just fine for that. Really get a smaller magnet for when I'm not using this thing on the tractor, I guess. Anyway, this piece right here, not going to be a big deal there either. I can weld that back up and we'll be just fine with that. As far as that goes, I think if you look at it on this side, yeah, you can see it's been brazed here a few places over the years. Not a big deal. We can take care of that. Let's see. So yeah, I need to finish taking the gizmo here apart, which there's another 6-8 bolts in that, and we can have the metal piece separated from the wood piece. I can take the wood piece to my father-in-law's, and I need to take that track off. Okay, the track, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that just yet, but we'll find out when I get it out where I can see it. Okay, now it's a little bit quieter in here. Let me say that separating this board from all of that right there was a bit of a process. It wasn't bad, but at the same time, there was a whole lot of different steps you had to go through to get that done. So anyway, now we got that separated, so we can take this to father-in-law and see if he can make me another one. It's not pine, I do know that much. It is not a pine board. Just by the looks of it, I'd have to say it's probably hickory, which is going for a pretty good price right now, as I understand. But anyway, so like I said, that's hickory. I'd imagine it's hickory. If it's not, it's oak of some sort. But anyway, that part's done, so we can fish out this other metal piece and see what it looks like. So let me fire up that air compressor again so I can get back down there and do that. And we'll go from there. All right, so we have the track. As you can see, This is probably just a piece of angle iron, and it's got these notches cut in it for whatever reason. I don't know why. And it was apparently plug welded to this other piece of angle iron and then welded on the ends, and that's how they accomplished that. So probably not a real huge deal then, other than finding the right thickness piece of angle iron to put back in here, which, you know, as you can see, that's been well polished over the years. Not a huge deal. And anyway, it was majorly worn on this end, but you know, nothing a little torching and welding and drilling won't fix, basically. And a little bit of money for a piece of angle iron. So easy, right? Should be anyway. Sounds easy. So yeah, it's repairable. Like I say, I'm going to take that piece of wood to my father-in-law and see if he can make it. I think he can. He's got all kinds of woodworking tools. He should be able to make me something like that. This thing here won't be any major issue at all. The adjustment bolt down there shouldn't be a big deal either. The upper track, where I figure out what I did with my light. Did I leave it down here? Probably. So yeah, there it is, laying on the ground. Still turned on even. Good thing it's rechargeable. Oh, there we go. That'll be better. Now. Okay, so anyway, we'll clean up to do, nothing major. Seems that there's like a, I don't know what that's going on there all about. There's something. It doesn't look quite right here. So I think a hammer would fix that. It just needs to be knocked back in a little bit. You know, some cleaning up and blowing off and straightening in right there a little bit. The holes are slotted, so that's adjustable. Excellent news there. This piece, no, the upper track is not, well, yeah, it is too. But anyway, this piece right here, it's not bad. I mean, it's still good. It's been rubbed on, but it's not horrible. The upper track, I really don't see anything wrong with it, other than, of course, it just needs to be, the lower one needs to be adjusted to match it, and we should be good there. Oh, we're gonna have to replace this bolt over here too. No big deal with that either. Anyway, so yeah. So far, just time and not a whole lot of money to be spent. So there we go. Good news on all accounts. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna call this thing good and go see my father-in-law and maybe see if I can't find a piece of angle iron somewhere. So we'll get back to you when we get more on this thing. Meanwhile, we'll see how it goes with other stuff.